Imagine buying like $1 million mountain retreat to escape the rat race, only to realize you've accidentally purchased a minimum wage 24/7 customer service job.
Oh, yeah, the classic trap.
Right. You picture the mist rolling over the Jameson Valley and, this beautiful passive income stream is just humming along.
Hum along while you sleep.
Exactly. But for, honestly, a massive percentage of short-term rental owners in the Blue Mountains, that dream of passive income quickly turns into a total nightmare. I mean, we're talking 2 a.m. plumbing emergencies and guests demanding to know why the Wi-Fi is slow.
It is a shockingly common trap, honestly. And the operative word in that whole fantasy is passive. Because the reality of the short-term rental market today, especially in like a premium destination, is that it requires a really aggressive, proactive, operational machine to actually generate that revenue.
Welcome to today's deep dive.
Yep.
If you are a Blue Mountains property owner or, you're just thinking of becoming one, this is specifically for you. We are analyzing a stack of materials today detailing Hosting's full-service Airbnb management solutions. And our mission here is really to answer one fundamental question, which is, how do you get the financial benefits of a short-term rental without it completely hijacking your life?
It's the ultimate tightrope walk, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
And to figure that out, we really need to dissect what full service actually means in the context of the highly competitive Blue Mountains market.
Right, because we aren't going to spend time on the basics you already know.
No, we're looking at the actual logistics today.
Yeah. We'll explore how hyperlocal market intelligence beats generic pricing algorithms, and how an interconnected operations system handles that grueling 4-hour turnover window.
Which is brutal.
It is, and we'll look at why catching microscopic maintenance issues is the ultimate mechanism for protecting your most valuable asset, which is your guest reviews.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the immediate pain point for almost every owner we see in these documents is time.
Yes, time. Specifically, something the sources call being a message-fatigued owner.
Oh, I love that term. It's so accurate.
Right. Because you think you want an Airbnb and then the barrage just begins. A guest can't find the lockbox. Another guest wants to know if you provide, like, a very specific type of oat milk.
Always the oat milk.
Always. And a third is messaging you at midnight because they don't understand how to turn on the split system heater.
And that fatigue, it really compounds. That the sources actually identify a very specific demographic suffering from this.
Oh, yeah. Like who?
Well, it's the busy professionals who are trying to squeeze, guest communication between their own business meetings.
Oh, man, that sounds stressful.
It is. And it's also remote owners who live in Sydney or even interstate who are physically unable to just pop over and fix a jammed door.
Right, they're hours away.
Exactly. And of course, it's the first-time hosts who vastly underestimated the sheer volume of micro-interactions required to keep a guest happy.
Yeah, because when you manage a property yourself, like that traditional DIY approach, you are functioning as the front desk, the concierge, the maintenance dispatcher, and the billing department.
Yeah.
All simultaneously.
All at once. It traps you in the cycle of reactive management. You're constantly playing defense.
I always compare DIY hosting to having a Tamagotchi.
A Tamagotchi? Wait, like the little digital pets from the 90s?
Yes, exactly like those. A DIY Airbnb is basically a high-stakes Tamagotchi that constantly beeps for your attention.
That is terrifyingly accurate.
Right. Booking inquiry beep, cleaner rescheduling beep, guest check-in beep.
Beep, beep, beep.
So the natural instinct for an exhausted owner is to just hire a basic co-host to handle the messages. But honestly, having looked through these materials, that seems like a massive landmine.
Oh, it is a landmine, and here is why. A basic co-host is essentially just a remote customer service rep.
Okay.
They might handle the digital messaging and calendar synchronization, sure, but they are completely divorced from the physical asset.
Right. So using the analogy, basic co-hosting is like turning down the volume on the Tamagotchi.
Yes.
You don't hear the beeping as loudly, which is great for your immediate sanity. But if no one is actually feeding the digital pet or, in the real world, physically fixing the slow shower drain or checking the linen quality, the pet still dies.
Yep. The property still fails.
Exactly.
The digital management just cannot be separated from the physical operations. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have the massive national short-term rental management companies.
Right, the huge ones.
Yeah, they offer scale. They will handle everything from the digital to the physical,
But wait, let me push back on that a bit, because if I hand my really unique Blue Mountains property over to a massive national conglomerate, doesn't it lose its soul?
That is a very valid fear.
Like, if they're managing 5,000 properties across the country with a standardized template, my historic Katoomba cottage just becomes a generic hotel room with a slightly different facade, right? Doesn't that destroy the entire reason guests book in the mountains to begin with?
That is the exact dilemma the source material highlights, and it's how hosting actually positions their specific model.
Okay, so what's their angle?
Well, what's fascinating here is that they've built a structure designed to occupy the sweet spot between those two extremes.
So they're in the middle.
Exactly. They utilize the technology-led systems of a large-scale operation, like, automating the heavy lifting of guest communications and reporting.
Right.
But they pair it with a strictly local, hands-on focus.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. If Omum Hosting is managing dozens of properties in the area, how can they possibly care about my slow shower drain as much as I do?
Well, it's not about caring, it's about systems.
Because anyone can claim they have a hands-on focus.
Hmm.
Isn't this just like corporate jargon for we use a checklist app?
Mm-hmm.
How does a system actually replace an owner's paranoid attention to detail?
It replaces it through structural interconnectedness.
Interconnected is what you mean.
So the sources emphasize what they call an operations system. Think about it like this. The flaw of the DIY owner, despite all their passion, is that they rely on their own memory and physical presence.
True.
And the flaw of the basic co-host is that they are siloed from the cleaner.
Ah, right. They don't talk to each other.
Exactly. Hosting's mechanism works by linking guest support, turnovers, and maintenance into a single, unbreakable workflow.
Okay, so we aren't just talking about answering emails here.
Not at all.
We are talking about the physical reality of what they call the guest-ready property, which the documents highlight as crucial, especially for the premium and luxury properties they manage.
Yeah, let's look at the mechanics of a turnover in a remote mountain area.
Okay.
You often have a 4-hour window between a guest checking out at 10 a.m. and the next guest checking in at 2 p.m.
That's a really tight window.
It's incredibly tight, and during that window, the property must be reset to a luxury standard. Hosting doesn't just hire an independent cleaner and, cross their fingers and hope for the best. They coordinate the entire workflow. That means tracking the scheduling, managing the logistics of the linen supply.
Which is huge.
Yeah, restocking consumables, and enforcing strict presentation standards.
And what if something goes wrong? Because, in a 100-year-old mountain cottage, something always goes wrong.
Oh, always. And this is where the interconnected system actually proves its worth over an owner's passion.
Okay, tell me more.
Let's introduce a concept here that perfectly illustrates the source's point on maintenance. Have you heard of the broken windows theory?
Wait, the broken windows theory? Like in criminology?
Exactly that one. So in criminology, the theory suggests that visible signs of neglect, like a single broken window, encourage further crime.
Right.
But in short-term rentals, it's psychological. The broken windows theory of Airbnbs.
Oh, wow. Okay, tracking.
A single scuff mark on the wall, a loose cabinet hinge, or a slow drain subconsciously drops a guest's perception of the property's cleanliness and quality by 20%.
Wait, really? 20%?
Yeah, it's math.
Wow. So they walk in, see one cobweb, and suddenly they are inspecting the bed sheets with a black light.
Pretty much. They are primed to find flaws.
Their trust is just broken.
Exactly. Their trust is broken. And the moment that trust breaks, your 5-star review is completely gone.
Man, that's brutal.
The hosting materials explicitly state that their workflow is designed to identify and coordinate property issues before they snowball into guest experience disasters.
So mechanically speaking, how does that actually happen in that really tight 4-hour window?
Because the cleaner is a core part of that interconnected digital system.
Okay.
If a cleaner notices a dripping tap during the turnover workflow, they don't just leave a sticky note on the counter.
Right.
That observation immediately triggers a maintenance coordination ticket within hosting system. The issue is logged, it's communicated, and it's actioned.
Oh, I see.
Because if you were relying on a basic co-host in Manila, they wouldn't know about the drip.
No, how could they?
And if you were relying on just an independent cleaner, they wouldn't be empowered to call a plumber.
True. So the next guest arrives, the tap drips all night, and you get a 1-star review for something you didn't even know was broken.
Exactly.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
It's a localized, self-correcting ecosystem.
Yes. Perfectly said.
Good workflows, catch small maintenance issues, which prevents that broken window psychological effect we talked about, which secures the good reviews, which keeps the property performing at the top of the algorithm.
That's the domino effect right there.
And ultimately, I guess that's what gives me, the owner, the confidence to actually step back. I mean, I don't have to drive up every Sunday to check for scuff marks because the workflow is designed to hunt them down.
Precisely. You get visibility through the reporting, but you are completely removed from the chore of execution.
You're treating it like a real business.
You are treating the property like a professional accommodation asset.
Right. But, having a perfectly maintained, pristine house doesn't matter if nobody books it.
This is very true.
And here's where it gets really interesting regarding Hosting's strategy. They treat the Blue Mountains not as one broad destination, but as a collection of completely distinct microeconomies.
Yes, they are hyper-focused.
The documents explicitly call out specific towns. Like, they mention a Katoomba property, a Laura cottage, a Blackheath weekender, and a Medlow bath escape.
And anyone who understands the local geography knows those aren't just different postcodes.
No.
They represent entirely different guest psychologies and pricing tiers.
Right, because if I am booking a romantic, high-end anniversary trip in a Laura cottage, my budget, my expectations, and the amenities I care about are completely different than if I'm, say, organizing a group of friends going canyoning who just need a base camp in Katoomba.
Which is exactly why relying on a massive national management company using a generic automated pricing algorithm is so incredibly dangerous.
Let's dig into that mechanism. How does a generic pricing algorithm actually fail here compared to local intelligence?
Well, generic algorithms rely really heavily on broad regional averages and historical data. Okay.
They look at the Blue Mountains as a monolith. So if the algorithm sees a dip in regional occupancy, it automatically drops your price to secure a booking.
Oh, I see. It just slashes prices.
Yeah. But local market intelligence tracks hyperlocal pacing.
Wait, pacing? What's pacing?
So pacing is the speed at which comparable properties in a very specific micromarket are booking up for a specific future date.
Oh, gotcha.
For example, Hosting's local team knows when the Winter Magic Festival is happening in Katoomba.
Right, huge event.
Huge. They know that search volume for Katoomba properties will spike months in advance.
Yep.
A generic algorithm might not catch the nuance of that hyper-local event until the broader regional data shifts, leaving money on the table.
Wow.
Hosting's local intelligence allows them to actively adjust the daily rate up before you even realize demand has shifted, maximizing your yield.
So they aren't just reacting to the market, they are anticipating it based on boots-on-the-ground knowledge.
They factor in local demand, seasonality, and the difference between a midweek corporate escape and a holiday-long weekend.
And they pair that pricing strategy with what the sources call listing optimization.
Okay, listing optimization.
They use their local positioning to improve the structure, the descriptions, and the amenity presentation of the property online.
Oh, so it's marketing psychology.
Totally.
You are setting the stage before the guest even clicks book.
Yeah.
Like if I have a Blackheath weekender,
Right.
OM Hosting knows that the guest looking at Blackheath wants the winter aesthetic.
Oh, absolutely.
They want the fireplace. They want the proximity to specific secluded hiking trails, the misty mornings. The listing needs to aggressively highlight those specific features.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this synergy is what truly separates full-service management from simple administration.
Right.
You are identifying the right guests for the right micro-market. You are presenting the property in a way that perfectly appeals to their specific psychology, and you are pricing it according to the exact pacing of that local demand.
And man, it all ties back to the reviews.
It always comes back to the reviews.
Because if you market a Katoomba base camp, like a luxury Laura retreat, even if it's a great house, the guests will arrive with the wrong expectations and leave a mediocre review.
Exactly. Expectation mismatch.
But by perfectly matching the listing optimization to the local reality, you guarantee the guest gets exactly what they signed up for.
Exactly. When the right guest pays the right price for an experience that aligns perfectly with their expectations, and they arrive to a property maintained by an interconnected operations system.
No scuff marks.
No scuff marks. That is how you manufacture 5-star reviews consistently.
Wow.
And you cannot do that if your management team is sitting in a high-rise in Sydney, applying a one-size-fits-all formula to the entire mountain range.
No, definitely not. It's an active management style, paradoxically designed to give the owner a completely hands-off experience.
Right.
Their active management equals your passive income.
That is the core argument of the source materials right there. Um, Hosting is a performance-focused service, not just a caretaker.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We started this deep dive trying to figure out how to reap the immense financial rewards of a Blue Mountain short-term rental without losing your mind to message fatigue and constant maintenance anxiety.
And without the 2 a.m. Tamagotchi beeps.
Exactly. And what these documents reveal is that achieving true passive income requires a fundamental shift in how you view the property.
You really have to stop treating it like a personal hobby that's gotten out of control
Yes,
and start treating it like a professional accommodation asset.
you need an interconnected system that handles the digital communications, the grueling turnover logistics, the preventative maintenance, and the micro-market pricing.
And as we always say, knowledge is most valuable when it's applied.
Mhm.
For a busy owner, applying these insights means recognizing that guest support, turnovers, and local pricing strategy do not exist in a vacuum.
The gears in a single machine.
Exactly. They work best when they are connected comprehensively rather
Yeah.
than being patched together with, a basic remote co-host handling messages, an independent cleaner guessing at standards, and an automated algorithm leaving money on the table.
Right. It provides structural integrity for your business. It allows you to finally turn down the volume on the Tamagotchi, knowing full well that a professional system is keeping it alive and thriving in the background.
Alive and thriving.
So I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over today. Think back to that very first moment, the original reason you decided to buy a property up in the Blue Mountains.
Yeah, why did you do it?
Was the goal to buy yourself a second, highly stressful 24/7 hospitality job where you are constantly reacting to the whims of strangers? Or was it to build a well-oiled, high-performing asset that actually gives you the financial freedom and the peace of mind to enjoy the mountains yourself?
It's a great question.
Just something to think about the next time your phone pings at midnight with a guest asking for the Wi-Fi password.